Alright guys, we took it way back to 1986 and we were doing some jousting and we went back to games when they were just ridiculously stupid hard.
Stupid hard, really stupid hard. I'm talking, there's no way you're going to win this unless you like put a cheat code in and...
Exactly, like you'd have to be the master of this game and play it for days on end, and it's...
I can see where they're going with it. You have to like sit in your castle for a while.
Like real life.
Yeah, it was a starting out game like way back when I was a kid, when computers just had DOS and Windows 3.1, or less, or just you just had not Windows but just DOS itself, no anything else.
Yeah.
And 150 megs was like, oh my god, what am I going to fill it up with? Now games today would crash that 10 times over or more.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, this game was 11 megs, just to throw it out there, and it's like, you can hear those wonderful, you know, MIDI files.
Oh yeah, the MIDI files, yeah. They're pretty.
So it's Defender of the Crown. We played the Amiga version, which is considered to be the best version before any remakes. Let's Game Ontario 151, so we're up to date again. What was your, just throwing it out there, what was your favorite part of this game? Like, you know,
well, the funniest part was when you go to go raid, and it's like, nope, sorry, you got to build an army. It's like, well, I just built my army. No, you got to raid a castle. Well, there's no castles around me. So how do you move your army? So you go to move your army there. Oh wait, someone's already taken that thing, and they have like 400 some odd soldiers there. So you're like 22 soldiers.
I want to know, and I never really like articulated this, is like, you start the game, and I know a few months have passed, right? Okay, but like, when you think of the realism of this, like, suddenly someone has an army of 200 people. It's like, where the hell did these people come from? Like, they just had kids.
Just slaves.
They had kids, and it's like, the kids didn't even grow up, so are they like baby armies? Like,
it could be. Well, like, at least they beat our army. We're not appropriating enough to have like 200 people around.
Your wife isn't like putting out enough.
She's not spitting out babies and dying.
I don't know the point of the maidens other than like, you know, I did that.
Well, I could say some things that I said over there, but I don't know if that's appropriate for this show. But I mean, you got to have something to entertain yourself back then.
I think it was one of those, you know, as bad as it is to sound, back then gaming was not, you know, really a pursuit for anyone but like older guys, so that had the money to buy these systems, because the Amiga was like I think when the Amiga came out it was $1,000, $3,000, so it's like, it's not like us where we're laughing like this game is extremely dated, you know, what, 30 years later, or what is it, 86, so that's 14, 30 years, holy crap.
Well, because the first game I ever played on a computer was King's Quest.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same, pretty much time period almost.
Time period that was in.
Maybe a little bit earlier.
And that was like, that was simple, click and point adventure. And this one, it's like, it's a click and point game.
But it's a strategy game.
Yeah, it's a strategy game, and you better be like really smart to strategize.
You didn't see the catapult,
you'll be like me.
But
Your soldiers will go up to 200 soldiers to 22 soldiers.
One night.
Yeah, I thought I built my army. One night against like 400 soldiers.
This game, it's always bothered me that it cheats like mad. It's worse than Mario Kart. It's the funny, original Mario Kart. It cheats that much. Like,
I don't know, Mario. I remember. I played a lot of Mario Kart. I don't remember the PC cheating that much, but I remember tearing my hair out playing it, because man, it was challenging. But this game is really challenging.
It's just insane. This is really old school. Like
old school
they
PC gaming.
They expected you to be a pro at a game. Like, you know how they talk about competitive gamers? Well, this is kind of what it was like back then, before that term was even a thing.
Yeah, even a thing. Like, when you go raid somebody, right, and you find the maiden, finally get her or whatever, try to rescue her, and you have to like poke at the soldiers that are coming out of the thing. All it is just you waving your sword around. Like, you might as well just be grabbing yourself and waving that around at them. Like, you know. And then all of a sudden you knock one down. One
yeah, the guy just like falls back. Is like, oh,
he falls back and dies. So your one soldier rushes in. All of a sudden you got another in sanctum, but it looks like rectum.
Yeah, the guy just comes out of nowhere. That's why you always have to keep moving ahead. Otherwise,
you got to keep moving ahead until you find her. And then now back then, when you actually found her, I bet kids were like got this and were like, oh my god, look at that, because you. Pretty revealing back then. They didn't think they had any like A ratings for ratings for games, so they could put anything they really wanted in it.
Yeah.
You know, and the art was pretty good. I still like the art. The art back then, the cartoonish
I like the
art
style.
was great.
The style's good. It is sort of dated.
It's dated, but it holds
the
up.
The animation's just horrible. Like it's
some of the animations in it. Yeah,
the jousting is like.
The art's good still though.
Like, I think to a certain degree it's still playable.
You can tell that they hand drew everything basically. Like maybe in Paint. It looks like
MS Paint.
Yeah, MS Paint. Yeah, or whatever it was. They did a lot of good work on it, but it's just lacking in a lot of you wouldn't play it normally if you.
If I didn't grow up with this game, I don't think I would have ever played it. I'd be like, oh, this goes cool. Oh.
Yeah.
But the problem is, there's been times I've played this game like a decade or so ago, and it's like you think you're that close to winning the game because you got 5 lands or so, and then all of a sudden, 5 places, and then all of a sudden there's one jerk, one AI that suddenly just just builds up everywhere, and you just get crushed.
Well, that's what they did to me.
It's I don't know if you've ever played Risk, on PC, the remake from a few years ago.
It's like that.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
out of nowhere, you get devastated, and there's no reason for that, the computer to come on that strong, and there's no difficulty. I don't think back then they had difficulty, easy, hard.
Yeah.
Because
I think they did
if it's too
later games they did.
Yeah,
but this one's one of the earliest games.
It's Double Dragon, those games they didn't have that. It's if you can't beat it, we don't care. It's too bad.
Double Dragon. You can't really compare Double Dragon to this because Double Dragon's actually a good game.
Genre, but this game, I think it was well done for its time, but because of just the clunky menu, the animations just something else.
Could have worked on it a little bit more.
They're
They're just like I said, they're waving their stuff around. That's what you might as well be doing that because it's more
dancing
effective.
up to the castle. So it's it's Rick James, musical number.
Basically, I'm Rick James.
We're doing a Rick. And then just everyone's dancing into the castle I want to get some girls.
Exactly. Then you wave it around and you say the maiden.
And then that screen comes up and it's you're okay, so it says, oh, you found a woman, and it's and then it says months later, so it's fast forwards, it's you have to wait 6 months. Back then, maybe it was harder back then than now, but
you can't just
then they're both in the room facing each other, awkwardly, like a staring contest.
Basically, and then they kiss, and then that's when you
and then you see a picture of her that's supposed to be hot against the back wall, and it's okay, well that was kind of worth one picture of a attractive girl.
But I mean, when you had strip poker back then and stuff, I mean, with better animation, I mean, this game, like I said, it is what it is, right? You can't really say much about it.
The catapult, you didn't get the catapult, but
no,
I found that was sort of fun, but it's kind of funny, again, the animation, because it's from that time period. There's a catapult, and you there's a bar from what I remember, and you just throw the boulder, but it's and then you just see it go, and there's no sound from what I remember. It just happens, and if you miss it, it just goes past the castle, and
it's somebody else.
Yeah,
it's your castle.
You could tell they used the same animation or graphics just to build down the wall, so that then your troops can walk in. But it was just funny that, it's just perfect area.
Yeah, they drew it. They drew it, and then they
and just added it.
Yeah, it's like a stop motion, basically.
Exactly. Sort of like
there.
that. I think for this time, I think it's one of those games that it sort of is a reminder of just how much the user interface for games and just balancing, testing your game is important.
Oh yeah.
Like I think this game can be fun in like small doses, maybe not intentionally.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this. It's on GOG.
I got it for
so.
I bought it for like $1.50. Back then it was probably $80, $100. But
no, I would say $100. I'd say more or less like 30 to 40. The games weren't that expensive back then. I remember we bought System Shock, which was about 16 to 17 bucks, I think, originally, or maybe 20. And it was on discette, and then it went to CD.
Because I remember buying Sam & Max for like $60, and that was one CD, and like.
Well, it could be then.
I even remember Mario Brothers. Like, I'll never forget seeing the price.
Oh yeah, that was like
the
80,
entire.
Yeah, that was a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
When they first came out, they were like
royalties and everything. But
100 and like what 100? It was
with tax. It was 120 for a cartridge, and it's like wow.
And
aren't you glad that now you can buy games for $1 or $3? Like
you can find it. You can find gems like at thrift stores and you can find those Nintendo games.
Except for the rare ones.
For $5 or $1, or go to a yard sale because they don't know what they have and buy a rare game.
But yeah, I think this game's fun to play for 20 minutes or so until you die, however long that takes. But I think as a game that I definitely can't recommend it for $1. You were saying a quarter.
Yeah, maybe a penny, maybe even if it was for a penny you might want to buy it. But if it was
flash sale.
Yeah, like it's not something that you'd go your way to buy.
Yeah, I did, but I mean it's because I wanted to try something.
Yeah, we have to try all the games. We just can't try everything, or not everything, but you know what I mean. Like
you just
can't
I
stop
wanted something different. Like I try and choose something that's a bit different from the previous week, because if you just play the same type of games, then
it gets boring.
Yes.
That's what we have to. It made me laugh. It was funny because it's so old. It was just like you just have to laugh at it because it's so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I gotta really say about it. It's it is what it is. It's a small game.
And at the time, it was a masterpiece, and now it's like,
you
can see
it didn't age very well.
Design, the gameplay mechanics, and the difficulty is way too high, and the gameplay mechanics are just extremely dated. They wouldn't make a game like this anymore because it's just too cumbersome, like the menus.
At least it paved it its way so that other games were made. So that's the only thing you can say about it.
Yeah. I'd buy that for $1, that's all I can say. And you'd buy it for a quarter.
Yeah, a quarter or a penny. Depends.
It's more like I have this classic game in my library more than like you'll go back and play it.
Yeah.
It's one of those games. It's not like Mega Man where you might beat it once a year or something. So that's all I have to say. I don't have anything else.
I have nothing else to say either.
Alright, well if you want to try and see funny animation, then definitely check this out. It's kind of unique. I think Pirates is the only other game that sort of has that sort of jousting, from what I remember off the top of my head. So, yeah, give it a shot if you want for $1. Otherwise, stay far away and enjoy something else. All right. Keep on gaming, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
With Mad Max. Take care.